This is the Big O Show. 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 This is...
So here's the putting green. See? There you go. Got two flags. One is over there where Cutter's Edge Pro. It's not coming out now. Come on. Come on, wind. Give me a little wind. No, unfortunately. But there you go. And this one says Big O here. There you go. So there's my putting green. It's about, I would say about 25 feet, something like that. I get to practice, have a little fun. See? And then, of course, we got, the bunkers. Got to have the bunkers, man. Got all kinds of bunkers there. You know what I'm saying? So that's a taste of our backyard. There's Maiden right there. Maiden. Bono, how you doing, Bono? Bono. He's a Carolina dog, by the way. These dogs are amazing. Their temperaments are awesome. But there is the Sylvester Palm, which is just beautiful. All right, call my guys, Will and Mike at Cutter's Edge Pro. They will take care of you. Dogs are not included, okay? Can't include the dogs. Those are mine. But the exceptional work, oh, baby. Oh, baby, yes. Make your home an oasis. CuttersEdgePro.com. Go to their Instagram page, by the way, so you can see a lot of the before and after work that they do. And it is exceptional, baby. This thing's been on here for about 9 months. No grass growing through it or anything like that. Right, Bono? Huh? Bono!
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com. With more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes, Welton Rayom is committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle, slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. That's 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
This is the Big O Show.
When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Alrighty. Sorry. I pulled a fast one there on Sean on the first go around. Normally I'm ready, but I wasn't ready. So now I'm kind of ready. So good morning. It's a Tuesday, baby. July 11th, 2023. I hope you all are doing well out there. Hope you're feeling good. Hope you're hanging in there and showing a little patience, obviously, because you're going to have to show some patience if you're going to wait for Dame Lillard or you're going to wait for Dalvin Cook, because it's going to take a little bit. Anyway, all right. Giovanni says, I'm a FedEx driver, and boy, it's hot as F out here. No AC in the truck. Yeah, I don't know how you guys do it, bro. I mean, you end up with swamp ass every single day. Like, seriously, the people married to UPS drivers, when you people get home, you got the funk of 40,000 years on your ass. Yeah. Those are good husbands and wives that really hang in there with you UPS drivers. Because seriously, what can Brown do for you except bring a lot of funk by the end of the day? You know, you've delivered 300 packages, no AC. That's not a good combination. It's not, really. It's not a good combination. So you all of you UPS drivers, okay? What you should be doing right now is buying extra gifts for your loved ones. That's what you should be doing. All right? I mean, seriously. Buy extra deodorant, buy all kinds of stuff for those loved ones of yours. You know what I'm saying? Air fresheners, things like that. I mean, think about it. How about if you're married to a UPS driver and you've got to wash their underwear? Woo! Woo! Do UPS drivers have separate what's it called? Like bins at home, right? You know, laundry bins. That's it. Like the entire family has one laundry bin. The UPS driver has a completely different laundry. Like, is that laundry bin like out in the shed, outside in the yard, somewhere, right? That's probably what it is, right? Because these UPS drivers, they get home, they've got the funk of 40,000 years, and they're not going to put their clothes in the same hamper as yours. No. This is the kind of hamper that Najee Davenport wouldn't even, you know. You didn't think I was going there, huh? Boy, you just mentioned you're a UPS driver, and look what I went to. I got to tell you, Giovanni. There you go. True Fin Fan says, I'm a driver for a company that delivers scaffoldings. We're picking up a scaffold for hours by hand in this heat. Nothing to me. I enjoy earning my living. You are certainly earning it, my man. NorCal says, good morning, Big O, Sean, and Chatboard crew. Football Finlaw from Placeville, California, checking in. Fins for life. Fat Boy Swag says, how you been, Big O? I'm good, bro. I'm good. Just saw The Cure 3 times in a week. Good. Today I'm going to go see Mission Impossible. I'm going to go with the wife, go see a little matinee. So go see something. So we're good. We're about to go. Sean and I are about to go on a world. Well, I can't say everything yet because one of them is not official yet. So, but we're about to do some. I'm certainly about to do some crazy ass traveling. Sean's about to do some traveling too. So we're ready to go to Canton. Can't tell you where else we're going to go. Not yet, at least, because it's not official. And then I'm going to go to Montreal to go see Metallica. Life is good, bro. Life is good. I can't complain. Thursday, anybody going Thursday to what's that called now? It's not Cruzan Amphitheater. It's not a Perfect Vodka. It's not Sound Advice. It's not what's it called now? Whatever that what are you going to tell me? What is it? You have anything on? We're not hearing anything. You trying to talk to me?
Let me try this. I think for not financial.
That's it. I think financial. Thursday, it is Howard Jones. Today marks 40 years. Howard Jones' first hit. Howard Jones, Berlin, and Culture Club. Bam. Taking the wife to that. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'll be there. I'll be in the B section, somewhere in the, I don't know what row it is, but somewhere in the middle of the B section. So if anybody's going out there, send me a DM, Threads, Twitter, or Instagram, and we can hook up before the show. Share a drink, toast, get toasted, whatever it is that you're doing. It's all good in the hood. So we'll be there on Thursday having some fun. Last night, Heat lost to the Suns. Oh, so depressing. Summer League loss. By the way, dude, they had Man, that was a sloppy ass game. They had 28 turnovers, and they still had the shot at the end to tie the game. You know what I mean? Although that kid that shot the three, I think he's a little overmatched. I forgot his name now. Orlando Robinson played well, although he had 6 turnovers. I mean, turnovers were just – they shot half decent from three-point range, so that saved their ass, 10 of 29. So that really – but my boy – or I'm sorry, shall I say Sean, our boy, Jamal Cain played well yesterday. Jamal Cain, baby, 18 points, 3 of 5 from three-point range. He also had 3 rebounds and 2 steals. Jamal Cain, man, he's one of those guys that is, he continues to show me something there, bro. And Mbouye's a tough little son of a bitch, man. Didn't shoot well, 3 of 10, ended up with 7 points, added 9 rebounds, 9 assists, but he had 6 turnovers, so that's unacceptable. Way too many turnovers. That game was sloppy as hell yesterday. Yes, I watched it all. I'm the geek that watches Summer League. I'm the geek that loves training camp and preseason. And when we used to have 4 games, I watch all 4, and I watch them all the way to the end. I'm that loser, okay? That's just the way it is. We would be in Summer League right now if we didn't have all this other traveling that we're going to have going on. We would be going to the Summer League. But, I had to kind of, Summer League, or do I go to Zach's induction? Summer League's there every year. Zach's induction is once in a lifetime. I went for the Marino one, and that was absolutely awesome to go to that experience. So I wanted to do that. And I think taking our show there, and I'm happy for Sean too, because he's never done this either. He's never been to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Plus, how many times do you get to go see a Dolphin get inducted, dude? I mean, that's like super cool, So we're looking forward to it, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a great experience. It's going to be pure craziness, obviously. So yeah, should be fun, man. Big O, why do you think the Dolphins schedule is starting with 2 road games and we aren't at home until late September? I don't know, Derek. Who cares, bro? I don't worry about schedules, my brother. They're not going to give you every year games at home at 1:00. Some years you're going to get it. Some years you're not. It's going to rotate around. They're not going to necessarily cater the schedule to your environment all the time. Just like sometimes we end up visiting the winter teams in the early part of the season instead of the latter part of the season. You know what I'm saying? So that happens too. Instead of you visiting them in December, you're visiting them early, right? That also, isn't that part of this schedule this year, Sean? In fact, that I'm talking about it. Aren't they like visiting Buffalo early instead of late and shit like that? And maybe even New England, right? It might be, they might have, so, there are things that are going to work your way, things that are not, but it's not always going to be catered the way you would perfectly like it every year. But you're going to get some years where you have games early on at 1:00 at home, and then some of these are going to be on the road, unfortunately. But I'm not the guy. You're never going to hear me talk about the schedule, that it's too hard or it's too soft or this, that, because you never really know what the schedule is really going to be like until you're in that moment. Yes, sir.
So we're at New England on the 17th, which is early.
Right.
We're at Buffalo October 1st, which is early.
On my birthday. There you go. See what I'm saying?
And in December, basically, you've got the Jets from November to the end of the year. That's the only one that's going to be maybe a cold weather game unless something happens in Baltimore.
Right. November is not really that cold.
Yeah, Baltimore, December 31st might be possible.
Right. Exactly. And we'll get to beat Baltimore once again. So, that's it. It goes both ways, man. You know what I'm saying? So while you didn't get a couple of the early games, you still ended up visiting the northern teams early. So you got a break. It's not a big deal. In the end, you got to play the schedule, whatever the schedule they hand you, and you got to go out there and get it done. So I'm not worried about that. That's just part of the progress. Anthony Pereira, you are the best show ever, ever, ever. Well, I'm in Pennsylvania, but a huge Dolphin fan. Thank you, sir. Cap for Life says, Zach deserves everyone there, bro. That gold jacket solidifies legendary greatness. Amen. And, these moments for us as Dolphin fans, I'll tell you this. This is something that I personally enjoy, okay? And I think a lot of you do. After I say this, you're going to go, oh, yeah, I'm the same way. You don't realize it at the moment, but now you will after I explain it. Here we go. So we have a lot of frustrations in our lives as Miami Dolphins fans, right? We haven't experienced a Super Bowl win since the early 70s, okay? All right. And most of you that are watching probably weren't even alive at that time. You know what I mean? The few of you like myself, I was alive. But I was a child. I was 7 and 8 years old when we won those titles. Like I knew what was going on, but you really didn't. You don't, at 7 or 8, you're not appreciating. You don't know what, they're winning. I'm giving my dad 5, whatever, but it's not this at 7 or 8. It's not the same as when you're 15 or 18 or 25 or 35 or 45. You're going to enjoy it and appreciate it and understand it a lot more. At 7 or 8, like I've told you many times, I'm watching the game and probably playing with my Tonka truck at the same time. It's not the same. It's just not. And so since then, we've had a lot of frustrations. And years ago, I got to cover Marino getting into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, class of 2005. And so for me, this is the greatest Dolphin of all time, my favorite Dolphin of all time. And it pisses me off that we never saw Shula give him the defense and the running game to win a Super Bowl, because you're never going to convince me that he would have never won a Super Bowl if you gave him a defense and running game. Our quarterbacks need help. They make it sound like Tua needs a perfect team or whatever, but they all need help. They all need help. Every one of them. They all need help. They can't do it by themselves. It's the ultimate team game. It's not a cliche. It's the real thing. This guy never won a title. This guy deserves 800 titles. Not one, 800 of them. He didn't get one. This was my title, my satisfaction, because I know he's a champion, because I know he's the greatest. And he didn't get to celebrate the greatest moment in sports, which is winning a Super Bowl for a football player. But he got this. And he got this because he deserves it. And so for me, this was kind of my Super Bowl moment for him. I'm happy because it's a team game, and Zach Thomas never had the offense that he needed, or even the coach that he needed in order to win a Super Bowl. To be quite honest, never had either combination. Was it Zach's fault? No. Zach played and Jason Taylor played like they were champions. This guy played like he was a champion. So for me personally, next month, when we're there watching the induction of Zach Thomas into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, that's going to be the moment that replaces that at least has to replace the Super Bowl, because it's not his fault. Like a lot of players that probably go into the Hall of Fame that don't have a championship. It's not their fault. It's not Joe Thomas's fault that Cleveland sucked, but that guy clearly would have been a Super Bowl champion. Just everybody else around Cleveland wasn't good enough, except Joe Thomas was. You know what I'm saying? Aren't we inducting 2 Jets into the Hall of Fame? Right? And I think it's Revis and Mawai, right? Kevin Mawai, is it? Am I wrong here? Is it Kevin Mawai and I know it's Revis. Is Revis not a world champion type player? Yeah. Is it his fault? No. It's not his fault. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things that, for me at least personally, and I'm sure a lot of you will think the same thing now that you'll think about it, you'll go, yeah, man, Marino didn't have this moment. Zach didn't have this moment, but they deserve this moment. They deserve this recognition because unfortunately they couldn't really enjoy the team part of it, which is winning a Super Bowl, and which is something that we all enjoy too as Dolphin fans. And, hopefully Tua and company will be able to give us that now. Yes, sir.
I believe it's Joe Klecko.
Joe Klecko. There it is. Joe Klecko. Another awesome player. Did a good job in Cannonball Run also, by the way. Gotta give Joe Klecko. I don't know, do we go Joe Klecko in Cannonball Run or Joe Klecko, the football player? Why do we put him in the Hall of Fame? Because, that performance in Cannonball Run was kind of Hall of Fame worthy also. Anyway. Ohio John is in the house. Ohio will be in your state soon. Morning, Big O family. Blessed to see year 43 today. Happy birthday, Ohio John. Thank you, sir, for giving us a super chat on your birthday. Looking forward to finding out what celeb I share a birthday with. Let's find out. Why don't we today? It's not a long list, actually, today for celebs celebrating birthdays. Let's do it. Since we do it every day here on the show, we give you the famous birthdays today. All right, here we go. Little Kim, the ginormous ass one, celebrates her 49th birthday today. Alicia Cara, pop singer, she is 27 today. Actor Justin Chambers is 53 today. TV actor David Henry is 34 years today. Let's see. Lisa Rinna, she of the big ass lips, is 60 years old today. Mindy Sterling, actress, she is 70 years old today. Giorgio Armani, 89 years old, the fashion designer. Richie Zambora, guitarist for Bon Jovi, is 64 years old today. And Johnny Sexton, rugby player. I have no idea who the hell he is. He's 38. And Stephen Lang, actor. He is 71. He's the guy that he usually plays a bad guy. Like, if you look him up, Stephen Lang, and it's the other Stephen with a PH. He's 71. If you look, I remember in there's a Steven Seagal movie called Fire Down Below or whatever, or something like that, or something where they're putting like chemicals in the Tennessee mountains or whatever, and he's got to go up there and kick all their asses. He falls in love with Marge Helgenberger or whatever kind of her name is from CSI. She was kind of an unknown then. And her brother in that movie is Stephen Lang. He plays a bad guy. He usually plays a bad guy in most movies. There are some actors that get typecasted, right? That they always play like a bad guy, pretty much like 95% of the time. They're playing and Stephen Lang is the guy that is usually playing a bad guy in a lot of TV shows and movies and all that kind of stuff. Stephen Lang from the Avatar movie. There you go. Yes, that's right. I did pass over John Quincy Adams. You are correct, sir. John Quincy Adams was born in 1767 on this date and died at 1848. Yes. Rosendo, you went a little too deep for me there. Yeah, I kind of left John Quincy Adams behind there. Yeah, I saw that. I just kind of glossed over it because I don't know. But yeah, I saw that. Ohio John says, damn, of course I share my birthday with D-list celebs. Well, wait a minute. Armani's not D-list. Armani's A-list. Okay? So you got an A-list guy there with Giorgio Armani. Come on, that's pretty good, bro. That's pretty good. You were born with Armani. You didn't have his money, but you're right there. Not bad. You're right. Almost every other person that was on there, even Little Kim is not a quality rap or anything. What would Little Kim be? A, B, C? Like, well, how far down the letter we go? How far down do we go? That's funny. Anyway. Oh, Lordy, Lordy, Lordy. What else do we have going on? Well, you know what? Might as well give you also. We always do that, and then we always give you this today in music history. Might as well do it today on July 11th. On this date, 2014, drummer producer Tommy Ramone of the Ramones passed away at the age of 65 from cancer. On this date in 75, Fleetwood Mac released their second self-titled album. It was the first album featuring the songwriting duo of Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks. In 82, on this date, Phil Collen, the guitarist of the glam rock band Girl, joined Def Leppard, replacing Pete Willis, who was fired for drinking too much. On this date in 99, Limp Bizkit started a 3-week run at number 1 on the Billboard 200 with their first ever U.S. chart topper, Significant Other. In 2000, Metallica drummer Lars Ulrich was first witness to testify at a Senate hearing over copyright law issues concerning free sharing of music files on websites like Napster and mp3.com. In 87, Heart had the number 1 song in the country with their ballad Alone. And in 90, on this date, Steven Adler was fired from Guns N' Roses because of his drug use. He was replaced by Matt Sorum, who was previously in the Cult. So those are the things that happened today in music history. How about that? All right. Ohio John says B-rap, F from what she has done with her face. Who's was it Little Kim? There was somebody else. There was somebody in the rap game, a girl that was in the rap game. I don't know. Is it Little Kim? There was somebody that has kind of like turned her ways, and she is like a completely different person. I wonder if it's Little Kim or somebody else that I was watching the other day, and I was like floored. I was like, wow, you look completely different, and sound complete and act completely different and normal and all that. Forgot who it was. Was it? I don't know why it's not Little Kim. Maybe I'm thinking somebody else, but it's kind of in the same area. Trying to remember who it is. Maybe it'll come to mind after I think about it for a little bit. Warren Moon, very underrated. Not in my book. Warren Moon's one of the best of all time, bro. I've always been a big Warren Moon fan, dude. Warren Moon is an absolute. I use him. No, it's not Foxy. It's not Foxy. I don't think Foxy's changed much. I think she's still beating up nail salon, nail artists or whatever. Damn, who was it? But anyway, it doesn't matter. But Warren Moon, man, I've always been a big one. I use him a lot against Kaepernick. The league told Warren Moon he wasn't good enough. And he went right to the CFL and proved him wrong, and they brought him right back, and he went to the Hall of Fame. And that's it. You know what I mean? Joe Theismann, same thing. Not as good as Warren Moon. You know, Jeff Garcia, not as good as Warren Moon, but they were all told they weren't good enough, and they went to the CFL, dude. And they had to go prove themselves, which happens to a lot of people that Unfortunately, you're not proven that you're good enough, and then you've got to go to the minors, or you've got to go play basketball in Europe or whatever it is, and then you've got to find your way back. People do that all the time, you know. So yeah, Warren Moon. I'm an enormous Warren Moon guy. I mean, big time. Warren Moon actually threw for more yards than Marino if you combine the NFL and the Canadian League. Yep, you're correct. So did Jim Kelly, right? If you do me a favor, Sean, I hate to put you to work here so early in the morning. Total Jim Kelly's yards in the USFL and the NFL, do they surpass Marino in the NFL? I think it's also that too. Like you say, Moon with CFL and NFL. I believe if you do the same thing with Jim Kelly, because he was with the Outlaws, was it, or the Renegades or something, and he was slinging it. I mean, slinging it. Okay? He was Jim Kelly's a stud anywhere you slice it. Doesn't matter where he was. I mean, when he got us to the Peach Bowl and all that, that was like an incredible accomplishment, dude.
No.
When he got the U to the Peach Bowl. Yes, sir.
No.
Wow.
What's 45,000 total yards?
Oh, that's way short.
Yeah, he only had 9,000 passing yards in the USFL.
How much did Marino totally have?
61,361.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So he was way short. Wow. Damn.
Yeah,
and he threw for a lot in both leagues, in the NFL and the USFL.
Well, he threw for, what is this? Oh, because he was in the NFL, then he went to the USFL and then back to the NFL. So total is 45,309. So he's almost 20,000 yards short.
Yeah, way short. Wow, I thought it would be more because he played a long time too. Marino's amazing, bro. God, Marino's so good. Big O, would you rather watch Jordi Alba play or would you rather watch Jessica Alba? Jessica Alba every day of the week and twice on Sundays. I just want to see Jessica Alba in the tight leather jeans on Dark Angel. That's it. Just give me Jessica Alba, Dark Angel over Jordi Alba any day of the week and twice on Sundays. Okay? That's all I need. That's it. So, yeah. I'm a big Jessica Alba fan. So, she's pretty special. It was Montana, Marino, Kelly, Moon, Elway was in the tier. After those four, it took Terrell Davis running for 2,000 yards for Elway. Yeah, everybody needs help, dude. And it's funny. The problem with the Tua haters, a lot of them they're just uneducated. You know what I mean? Because I've heard them, so Tua needs a perfect team. Well, yeah, dude, they all need the perfect team. You know what I mean? Sometimes you get a perfect team and all you need is Trent Dilfer. You don't really need a great quarter. You don't even need a good quarterback because Trent Dilfer wasn't even a good quarterback. Okay, well, sometimes you have such a great team, you don't even need a good quarterback. But more often than not, you're going to need a hell of a team around your quarterback. That's just the way it goes. And, Elway got his ass kicked over and over, and he was a choker and all that. And it wasn't really that he was a choker. It's just, dude, you're not winning with Sammy Winder. You're not winning with that defense. It's funny because when Elway took over, they didn't have, and I'm going back because a lot of you may be too young to even understand what the hell I'm talking about. But it's funny that when Elway got into the league, he didn't have the Carl Mecklenburg defense from the Orange Crush. So the Craig Morton offense wasn't good enough, but the Orange Crush defense was pretty good. And then you got to Elway where your offense was good, but your defense was terrible. Okay? And then eventually they figured out the defense and the running game, And then Elway closed out his career with 2 straight titles. And he got to walk out into the sunset. And, that's just the way it is. Everybody needs the perfect team. You want to send Cam Wolfe a reminder there, Sean, for me? The TV star, what is he, a half hour into taking off the makeup? Is that what's going on with Cam Wolfe right now? Is he having trouble taking off makeup? Is it getting into his pores right now? Anyway. So it was Little Kim? Well, I got to tell you, Peter Holland, yeah, it sounds like Little Kim. She had plastic surgery. Yes, then it was her. Dude, she looks great. Little Kim. She took off all the shit off her face. If that was her, and I saw an interview of her, because she completely changed. She's not, acting like a rap chick and none of that. She is talking normal, and she looks fantastic. If that's the one, I'm pretty sure I saw the interview and I was blown away. I was like, wow, that's Little Kim. Why did you do all the other stuff? I guess she made probably money, and I'm sure she made a lot of money doing what she was doing before. But if you see her now, if that's the one that I'm talking about, I think it was Little Kim. She looks awesome. And she sounds normal. Yeah, I think it was her. I think it was Little Kim. Yeah. Yeah. I was blown away by that interview. Absolutely blown away. All right, let's do it. Let's unleash the Wolf Pack.
We unleash the Wolf Pack as we get the latest in the NFL and the Miami Dolphins with our KSDT CPA Pro Football Report with NFL Network insider Cameron Wolf. KSDT is one of South Florida's largest and one of the country's fastest growing accounting firms. KSDT CPA is a full-service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit them at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370. Here's NFL insider Cameron Wolf.
All right. There he is, the TV star. Well, what? You struggle getting off the makeup? Was it getting in your pores or something? What was going on?
No, man. I feel like I was fine. I just got back to the hotel room and sat down. Literally got off the show 30 minutes ago. So giving you guys the latest.
Okay, I like it. By the way, did you see that new Little Kim? Is it Little Kim? I think that I saw that interview.
I did not. I didn't see it.
She looks fantastic, bro.
Okay.
She took off all the stuff off her face and everything, and she is a beautiful woman. Seriously. Right. And then she's talking like normal, and she sounds like you're blown away. Wait a minute, why didn't you go about it this way?
Right. No, I hear you. I haven't seen it. I got to check it out.
You got to see it because it's going to blow you away.
Okay.
It'll floor you. Wow, you look fantastic. Because I saw it and I was confused. Was it Little Kim or was I confusing her with somebody else? Because I saw the interview a month ago and somebody brought it up, and I'm confused if it was Little Kim or not. But I know I was blown away with the interview, and I was like, wow, dude, she completely changed and she looks fantastic. Seriously, it's impressive. Okay. Impressive. She was tired of living that life of the rapping and obviously she was performing a lot of strip clubs, and so she wanted to kind of clean out her life apparently. And when you see her now, you're gonna go, holy shit! Impressive, impressive. Seriously impressive.
All right,
it's pretty cool. All right, so how's TV been the first couple of days?
It's been good, man. I enjoy doing Good Morning Football, man. It gives you an opportunity to show a little bit of my personality, and I think it's we just have a bunch of fun. This week is probably the slowest quote unquote week of the off season because there's not a lot going on, but that show, it makes you feel like it goes by fast because we're just talking fun topics. Like the last couple of days we had Grady Jarrett on. He's given us some player perspective from the Falcons. We got Ryan Leaf, who's NFL quarterback, and so I'm adding my insight, and so we're just kind of flowing. It feels like a breakfast table, and so I enjoy doing it. I got to rock, at least for one segment, I got to rock my Ken Griffey Jr. jersey that I'm wearing now for All-Star Weekend. And so it's like, I love doing what I do. I love being a reporter in the field, but this gives you a lot more leadway to be able to give your opinions, expand upon reports, and just have some fun. So just got to get past the early wake-up calls. So it's been 4:30, 5 o'clock for me every morning, which is not usual in the summer, but it's 10:37 now, and then I'm talking to you, giving you some insight for where we are, and after that, I've got the rest of the day. So it's a good and a bad balance, but I've enjoyed my first 2 days, and we got 3 more.
What's it called? If I would have known you were going to wear your Ken Griffey Jr. Jersey, I would have whipped out the Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card.
Oh, you got the rookie card.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. I got his Top Stadium rookie card. And I got 2 of his rookie cards.
Okay.
Top Stadium, and then the other one, I think it's Fleer. I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, I definitely have the rookie cards are the ones. His top one, I believe, is the Top Stadium, the one with the bats.
Okay.
Right behind him. I don't know if you've seen. I don't know if you even know what the hell I'm talking about.
So I know what you're talking about, but I've never really been a big baseball card guy, but I was a big Ken Griffey guy. And so anything you say with Ken Griffey piques my attention. Like, I never lived in Seattle or was a fan of the Mariners or Pacific Northwest, but I bought this jersey because of Griffey. And there are certain guys like that transcend the game for me. And so, Griffey was one of those fellas. And so, you having his baseball card is that's a good get. That's a really good get.
Of course, bro. It's Griffey. Prettiest swing ever?
Yeah, the most pure swing for sure. I tried my best when I was growing up to,
don't do that.
How to do it, and I did it no justice. It just couldn't flow with me. My hands weren't fast enough. Everybody tried to do a mimic of certain swings. Griffey was mine, and then I couldn't do Griffey. I tried to do swinging Sammy Sosa all the way out here, and I couldn't get that either. And then I realized baseball wasn't a sport for me.
Bonds, Griffey, Will Clark, Cody Bellinger.
Okay.
Prettiest.
I think Griffey's got him. Griffey to me is the best pure swing I've seen, because it seems so effortless, but he could also hit the ball 450 feet. It's just it was so pure.
Bonds, I know it was assisted.
Yeah,
but
Bonds had the strongest swing for sure. But Bonds, you could see him, like you could see all the power when he went through the swing. Ken Griffey Jr., you couldn't tell if he was, giving everything he got, or if it was just a casual swing. He was just so pure.
Clark, by the way, Will Clark has one of the most beautiful swings I have ever seen in my. And I brought up Cody Bellinger because I got to give Cody a lot of love, bro. He's got a absolute.
It's nice. It's really nice.
Yeah, yep. Bro. It's like a beautiful golf slice, or golf swing. It's just like it looks like it's completely in control. Yeah, that's one of those things that always stood out about Griffey, how smooth he was, whether he was playing outfield or whether he was batting or whatever it was. It was just. It's a talent, bro. It's just, you're special, and it's just, that's what Griffey was.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Incredibly special,
By the way, my wife said she thinks you're talking about Black China with the.
She's right. It's not Little Kim. It's freaking Black China.
I didn't know what you were referencing, so it missed me.
It's Black China. I knew I was confused when somebody told me it's Little Kim. I'm like, okay, well, because I saw like a month ago, Black China knocked it out of the freaking park, bro.
Yeah,
you gotta see her, bro. She awesome, awesome. Like, you know what? I'm gonna actually. I bet you, it's here on. I bet you it's here on YouTube what she did to herself. Like she is a completely different person.
Okay.
Seriously.
Yeah, I was like Black China. I was like Little Kim. I was like Little Kim. I haven't seen.
No, it's Black China. I knew I got confused.
Yeah.
And she completely cleaned up and all that. And she was doing this interview. And dude, I was blown away. I was like, wow, good for you. She completely changed. And the way she's talking and everything, she's like, sounds normal.
Yeah.
Like normal, okay, and I commend her, bro. I was super. You see her there? She's never looked like that to, the Black China that we were all used to. Like,
that looks really good.
Yeah, she took off all that stuff from her. What's that called? The fillers or whatever that was. Ask your wife.
Huh? Face fillers? Is that what you're referencing?
Is that what it's called?
Sure. Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Well, yeah.
It's not my lane, Diego. You got me a lot further than I usually go outside of the celebrity.
I know, but we were talking about it before you came on, and I was wondering if you had seen it because I thought it was.
She does look. You're right. She does look. She looks.
No,
great.
no. You got to listen to her.
Okay.
That's where you got to all right.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, it's super, super impressive, dude. I was really, really impressed. All right, so let's get back to football and bore everybody. What do we got going on with Dalvin? Because I want Dalvin to know. Okay. Did you ever watch the movie Rounders?
I did not. No,
it's about poker. And Matt Damon is in it.
Was it before 1990?
Yeah, that's no. It's not. Rounders is, I want to say, somewhere in the 90s.
1998. Okay, you know what? Is Rounders the movie with Worm and KGB? It's like a poker movie, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I've seen it. I've seen it because he ends up taking all his money. Yes.
I do remember his money. That's the famous line from it. Yes. Yeah, that Matt Damon gets the best of him and all that, and he's separating the Oreo cookies and all that kind of shit.
Absolutely, I remember that movie. It was before 1990. I told you, if it was before 1990, I don't have a great chance. But if it's after 1990, then it's fair game for me. And so I do remember watching. I'm a big poker guy. And so I do remember watching Rounders.
Okay, so I want to encourage you one day, if you ever want to play poker with Dalvin Cook and his agent, you should, because they suck at poker. They suck at poker. Okay? Yeah. Somebody tell them, what is it, Zach Hiller or some shit? Somebody tell Zach Hiller that when you're playing poker, you can't show your cards or your face right away. And they have sold from day one, because I know what's going on. They met with the Dolphins the second they got released. Mm-hmm. And the second they got released, they got depressed by what Chris Greer was offering them, because they didn't understand what the hell was going on, what the market is like. Look what's going on with Josh Jacobs now. Now the reports are that if Jacobs wants a long-term deal, it ain't going to be with the Raiders. And you saw what went on with Aaron Jones. Yo, you want to stay with us? You got to cut from 17 to 11. And look what's going on with Saquon Barkley. All this crap's going on. I think the agent and the player completely misjudged the market, completely mishandled this whole thing. And I think they're in shell shock now. They're in shell shock that the offers that are out there are not that impressive. They're not that much better than Miami, if they are any better than Miami. And I think they're kind of, I think they played bad poker, put it that way. What do you think?
I don't know, man. I honestly don't. I think we'll see. I think Dalvin Cook is still a really good player. And
that's not the point. That's
it. So my thing is whether he ends up, I know he wants to be in Miami. And so we're gonna see what it ends up. But like everything, all of it's negotiations, right? Like if I'm negotiating for my salary, you're negotiating for your salary. There's different elements of that come into play. And
There isn't
so,
much negotiating going on here, dude.
well, then
There
you
is
negotiate with teams.
there isn't much negotiating going on here, bro. He's got offers. They're bad offers because that's just the way running backs are treated now. And it's him settling for what he's going to get. Settle for what the Jets give him or settle for what the Dolphins give him. But there really is no negotiations going on here because everybody's pretty much got him by the balls. He's got no leverage here. The Dolphins are not in a position like, oh my God, we need you. They're not acting like that. They're acting like, yo, here's what we can afford to give you. You're a luxury for us. You're not really a necessity. Even though we all know deep down inside, the running game will be better with Dalvin Cook, and he would be the best running back of the lot. We all know that. But that's one person is playing poker the right way, and the others are not playing poker the right way is my point. And I think I don't want to play poker with Chris Greer. That's all I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Dalvin, I'm eager to see when he signs because we're all kind of circling training camp. And if he doesn't sign at training camp, then maybe he waits to the start of the season. And does urgency change on one side or the other? Does Dalvin feel the pressure? Does a team feel the pressure? If Breece Hall's not ready, do the Jets all of a sudden up things? I don't know. Right now it's a quiet period. Like it's July 11th. We talked about this last month, and you were like, "Hey, should we expect any deals?" And I'm like, "No, go to the beach. Nobody's signing between this late June period until early. Come back the week before training camp, and that's when you'll start to talk about this again." Now we'll talk about it on Good Morning Football every day. So if you want to tune in, we'll definitely talk about it. But as far as like an actual transaction, I don't think anybody, and I even reported this on GMFB yesterday, nothing's imminent. Nothing's imminent. We're all kind of in a waiting passing game, and then we'll kind of see where things go. But I will say the Dolphins were 31st in rushing last year. And so they got to be better, whether it's their own in-house guys, Raheem, Jeff, and A-Chain, and the line being better, and Mike McDaniel, committing to run more, or is adding a Cook and saying, "Hey, we're gonna be better because we have a top end guy like Cook to go with our other complementary guys." I'm not sure which route they go. Obviously, money plays a factor, but their run game has to be better.
Where are we headed with this position? Where because college kids and high school kids, and especially high school kids and their parents and their guardians have to kind of tell the kid, hey, you want to play in the league, but do you see how they're treating you in the league? You're only going to play for one contract.
Right.
Very few running backs are going to get a second contract. Very few running backs are going to take in early in the draft anymore. So you're not going to be a first rounder or even a second rounder unless you're really special. And then they'll say, well, you know what? We'll throw away a second rounder and we'll play him for 4, tag him for a year or 2, and then get rid of him. And we've used them up. Where are we headed with the running back position in the next 10 to 15 years?
I've never seen a position get depressed as much as a running back spot has over the last 5 years. I think it's kind of frustrating for me because I love running backs. I think they're,
By the way, fullback was one.
Fullback, yes.
When I was a kid, everybody had a fullback. A lot of people used a fullback. Right. That position went to almost extinct.
Yes.
And so now we're watching the running back.
But the thing that frustrates me, like I love a fullback too, but the reason why it frustrates me for the running back spot is the position usage hasn't gone to stink. Like the fullback usage when it stinked and they went more 3 receiver sets. Teams are still using running backs plenty. They just have decided that we're not going to pay them. And it's been like a collective issue.
Or keep them long.
They've essentially decided that, yes, we use the position, but it's a replaceable position. It's a replacement level position. They're dime a dozen. And so we're not paying anybody long-term extensions. We're not giving anybody $15+ million outside of Christian McCaffrey, who's essentially a receiver and running back together.
And by the way, that's only because we're paying a quarterback. They had a 7th rounder as a quarterback, and they said, in order for us to have success, let's put everything around this kid, which was, by the way, super smart on their part to do that. But that was a luxury move by them because they weren't paying a quarterback. If they were paying a quarterback, you and I know they don't make that move.
Right. And so, I think the most common refrain is, mamas don't have your kids grow up to be a running back. And hopefully supply and demand changes everything. And so hopefully there's a cycle change where so much demand is going to other spots, and then it becomes, okay, everybody's passing 70% of the league. What if I have a Derrick Henry? Can I run the league that way? And so, demand changes. If demand changes, then you got to pay the unique guys. And so I hope something changes for these guys, because they're some of the most exciting players in the league. Like, we build our shows.
What you just said, you just talked about Derrick Henry.
Right.
He is this era's Walter Payton, Barry Sanders, Jim Brown. He's the ultimate freak of his era. Okay?
Right.
29. His own team won't extend him, and he's going into the final year of his deal, and nobody else says, dude, we could trade for Derrick Henry, and that would, lift our running game to incredible heights. We could go win our Super Bowl.
Right.
Think about these.
Right.
Jim Brown is sitting there.
Yep.
Barry Sanders is sitting there in the pinnacle of his career, and nobody touches him, bro.
Right.
It's the oddest thing in the free. That's why you shouldn't be shocked what happened to Aaron Jones or Dalvin Cook or anybody else, because if nobody will make a move for the ultimate freak, brother, what the hell is going on with this position? You know what I mean? That's a subject for you guys on Good Morning Football.
Absolutely.
That is just an absolutely crazy thing that's going on. Because think about it. If I'm a running back away and I say, dude, all I need is a running game for my team and I'm going to win a Super Bowl, I would do anything to trade for Derrick Henry right away already. That's it, bro. I'm going to have a monster for 2 or 3, because he still has at least 2-3 years left in
he
him.
ran for over 1,500 yards last year. Had 350 carries.
And a career guy in receiving, bro. Which that smart sumbitch said, hey, throw me the ball. I'm getting to the end of my contract. I need to show people that I can do more than that. It's the weirdest thing, bro. It's the weirdest thing that Derrick Henry is just sitting there, and the franchise he has carried his entire time won't even extend him, because that's the other part of it that screwed up, Cam. You covered that team.
Right.
That's the kind of player you want to retire in your franchise, bro. I mean, they just don't come around like that. I'm not joking around when I say by the way, I'm not joking around when I say he's Jim Brown. He's Jim Brown, and he's Barry Sanders, and he's Walter Payton of this generation. He's really that special. Really.
There's nobody built like Derrick Henry. There probably will never be a running back built like Derrick Henry ever again. That takes his workload, that does what he does, that has his speed. People just look at his size. This dude will take off on you. He's built like you would create a running back out of Madden. And you mentioned the receiving ability. That was really the only knock against him. He had 400 receiving yards last year. Go with 1,500 rushing. That's nearly 2,000 combined yards for a guy. And, we don't value him as a –
never scare you.
Yep.
Remember that. Quarterbacks never scare you, because there are running backs that benefit from the respect of the quarterback, that they are scared shitless of that quarterback, and the safeties play deeper, and there's more space for you to run, and the linebackers are on their heels, and all that kind of shit. When you have a great quarterback, it makes your running back better. This guy has never played with a quarterback that is scaring people ever.
Right.
I mean, how is that, bro? How is it that Derrick Henry sits there? He's the ultimate difference maker in the NFL, and nobody touches him.
Yeah, that's the current state of running backs, and I hate it.
And they know it, and all they have to do is tag him next year.
Right.
and
Right.
he's screwed. And they'll keep tagging him in the pinnacle of his career, and then tag him 2 more times. They don't care. They're not really paying a quarterback again, so they could tag him and use up the best years of his career that are left. It's really it's practically criminal, to be quite honest.
Yeah, it is. Yes.
It's a shame. All right, one more thing I got to ask you, Kyler Murray.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes you gotta admit when you're wrong, and I'm a big Kyler Murray supporter. I was a big Kyler Murray believer because I like him as a passer.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I didn't like about the guy you covered in Tennessee and we had here in Miami was that I didn't think as a passer he was that guy ultimately. And I think this guy has it, but unfortunately, whatever it is, professionalism, lack of commitment, you know. And then the one thing that I was always worried about with Kyler Murray, and I was wrong until now, was the injuries. So now he's finally coming back from an ACL. Where are you with Kyler Murray? Because I think I'm at a point where I have to say I was wrong. He's not going to become the passer in this league that I thought he could become, even at his size, because, you know, it's hard to catch him. So he can pass. He has that skill set, but he doesn't cross that threshold.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm eager to see what he does once he's healthy this year and next year, because the narrative on Kyler Murray has gone completely downhill, especially since the report came out about him studying in the film and with a big contract. And I think he became from one of these players who he's the most exciting player in the league. And when he at his peak, he still looks like that, to a guy, is he wasting talent? Is he maximizing all that he has? And you don't want to be one of those guys like, hey man, he was really talented if he just worked a little harder, or if he just gave a little bit more. And so I want to give him, he's coming off the ACL, so we may not see him at the start of this year. I want to see 2023 and then 2024 before I fully write him off, because part of that is sometimes you need a kick in the butt. And maybe this, my hope is, and this is probably his last chance in a lot of people's eyes, you get a kick in the butt, you get a lot of people naysaying you, a lot of people say that, hey, you're this, you're that, and you come back and do and correct the issues you have. That's my only hope for him. But right now, I do think that you don't, as Cardinals right now, you're in a very precarious situation because you've already paid him. He has a lot of guaranteed money, but you're not quite sure what is coming out of Kyler. If you've got the best of him already, is he in a downhill slide from here?
Follow him on Twitter at Cameron Wolf. Catch him on Good Morning Football tomorrow morning, bright and early at 6 a.m.
7 to 10 a.m. Eastern.
I'm sorry, 7 to 10 a.m. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
7 to 10.
Don't have people waking up earlier than they have to. I don't like waking up earlier than I have to either. So
you are up already at 6,
yeah.
right?
I will already be up. I will already be at the studio, but tune in 7 to 10 a.m. NFL Network. We'll be having some fun the rest of the week. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Appreciate you, my brother. We'll catch up later on in the week. Thank you.
All right. Appreciate you.
Yep. Thank you, sir. There you go. And we love the folks at KSDT CPAs. I tell you all the time. And we got the QR code for you there. If you have not filed your taxes, okay, hit that QR code that's popping up right now, right there. So just in case you didn't file it when the deadline came and you're a little nervous and all that, or maybe you haven't filed your taxes in the last year or 2 or 3. By the way, that's why Biden loaded up. They're going after all the people that haven't paid their taxes over the last couple of years. So Biden and the boys are coming at you. Okay. Republicans try to lower that $80 billion number, and they tell you they did, but they only lowered $1.4 billion out of $80 billion. So there's $78.6 billion of extra IRS agents that are coming after you if you have not paid your taxes. Okay. So if you're overdue this past deadline or a couple years, use that QR code. Please reach out to the people at KSDT CPAs. They will take care of you. I promise you, wherever you're at, doesn't matter. You can do all of this by phone, man. So call the people at KSDT CPAs or use that QR code 305-670-3370. Get your phone, put it on photo, not on video, and then you look at that QR code. You'll see the link. Hit the link. It'll take you right to it, and reach out to the people at KSDT CPA.
This has been the KSDT CPA Pro Football Report with NFL insider Cameron Wolf. KSDT is recognized by Forbes as one of the top tax accounting firms for 2022. KSDT CPA is a full-service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit them at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370.
All right. It is screwed up. I just, you see that guy out there, and man, it's amazing because he could change anything on your team on offense. Let's see. What do we have? Rosendo says, this is why I can't understand why Greer has not addressed the issue of depth. It was needed on the O-line, and depth is needed at the defensive line. Maybe they tried, and maybe the people that are running the offensive line are telling you, no, we're all right. We can work with the guys we have. You know, he also goes by what the coaches tell him. That's why A-Chain is here. You know, the coach wanted A-Chain. We'll see. Time will answer all. Maybe they have the depth. Maybe they have the people. Last year, by the way, they had Brandon Shell and Robert Jones, who did a very good job overall of filling in for left guard and right tackle. Their problem was more sticking to the run at times. Kyler Murray isn't going to better losing Hopkins. Not a fan of Hollywood Brown. I think he could struggle this year. Yeah, I think Kyler Murray is toast. Funny part, Armstead, he's a team leader that doesn't practice. LOL. Need a vet at left guard. You're not going to have the reps to get used to playing next to each other. I mean, he does practice some, but he doesn't practice all the time. O-line is a shortage in the NFL. The NFL is solving that by running QBs. Saves a ton of money. Actually, you are right about that. Lofi is right. The offensive line issue is all over the place. It's not a Miami thing. It's an NFL thing. There's a lot of them. In fact, that's a problem on most teams, is offensive line. Most teams don't have 5 good offensive linemen. Very few do. And the ones that do are usually the better teams in the league. That's for sure. Welcome to Desert Island, your brand new retreat for all things sweet at Lollapalooza. Located next to the Bacardi stage, Desert Island will feature all the guilty pleasure goodies your heart desires. Ice cream, cookies, donuts, so much more. There you go. Desert Island. So if you're going to Lollapalooza, I just saw this on Twitter. They're going to have Candy Cloud World for you, Cloud Cookies, Dippin' Dots, Donut Dudes, Eiffel Waffle, Glow Superfood, Harris Snow Cones, Ice Cream Social, Ida's Artisan Ice Cream and Treats, Lorenzo's Frozen Pudding, Normita's Conchas, Nuts on Clark, Rolling Chicago Cafe, The Bacon Bar, The Original Rainbow Cone, Vero Gelato and Coffee, Windsor Ice Cream Shop, and the EXO Marshmallow Churro. That's Desert Island for you at Lollapalooza. Sounds like a shit ton of calories. That's what it sounds like to me. Impressive. Let's see. What else do we have on the chat board here? I guarantee you the Giants, Vegas, Dallas general managers all spoke during the owners' meetings. The running back number is set. The players just don't know it. Yeah, I don't think so. I just think it's just a position that has been completely crapped on. Dan B says, good morning, Big O. I know you went to BK to football with the face stuff with celebrities. It's Botox. There you go. Botox. That's it. That's it. So she took out all the Botox from her face and all that stuff, and she looks fantastic. Seriously. Props to Black China, man. She wanted to leave that life of hers that she had in strip clubs and all that crap. And she wanted to clean up herself, and she cleaned up really nice. Good for her, bro. Good for her. That's all I can tell you. You got to check it out. It'll blow you away when you see the regular Black China you used to see, and then the new Black China. You're like, holy crap! Like, what did you do to your face? Like, why did you do that? Like that kind of stuff. Like after you see how she has looked for years, and then you see her now, you're like, why did you do that? You were actually a really good looking woman. Like, why would you do that? It's crazy stuff. But impressive when you see night and day. The Bills are going into the season without a right tackle. Bengals are going into the year without a center, etc. Miami isn't the only team that needs help depth. Yeah. I think Buffalo's headed for a tough year. Okay. So I think they're going to take a step back here. That's just me. I may be wrong, and they go out and win, they're 13-4 at the end of the year. I may be wrong, but I would not be surprised if they take a step back. And I think Miami takes a step up, and you find yourself watching Buffalo and the Jets battle for second place. So we shall find out. I some of this stuff already, with even the dig stuff in the offseason, when you haven't even started the regular season, which kind of sets the stage for any early struggles, will create more controversy for them. I think that October 1st game is going to be enormous, that it's going to put the Dolphins in a different light with the public. Not with me, but with the public, because I think the Dolphins are going to shock a lot of people, because a lot of people are looking at the Bills as being the dominant team, and that's normal of this division. But I think that changes this year. I think the Dolphins become the team of this division. I think Buffalo, they end up taking a step back this year. And people will start to question Buffalo. And maybe, just maybe, that window that was open for Buffalo, that's what I'm going to be telling you, is that window is starting to close now. And the opportunity was there, and we'll see. We'll see. I might be wrong. Scotty, hey, Thaler. Do you think Mike Norvell and the Knowles will do a Camping World Caca to LSU? Also, keep an eye on Steve Alba and the Beavers to make a run in the Pac-12. Yahtzee Van Dyke will win the Heisman. Yeah, no, Van Dyke is definitely not winning the Heisman. That I can tell you. I would love to be wrong, but yeah, no, I don't think so. Looking at the schedule, I put Jets as favored for our division. We are injury prone to get one spot, and our schedule is insane. Yeah, I don't play the schedule game. Schedule game is one of the more ridiculous games that people play, because you can never predict what a team is going to be down the line. So a lot of teams you put on the schedule, you think they're going to be good, and they don't end up being good. And the ones you think are going to be shitty are not going to be shitty, and they end up being a lot better than what you think. So Manny Navarro, by the way, is set to join us at 11:30. And then we'll have Marcel Louis-Jacques joining us at noon. Okay. Oh, Lordy. What else do we have? So Northwestern fires Pat Fitzgerald. And I know he was there for about 17 years. And I listen, I'm not going to get into the specifics of the hazing that was going on his team, and disgusting, and It's just stuff that by now you got to figure you're not going to get away with this kind of stuff. And if you're a head coach of any team, you got to know what's going on. You have to know what's going on. You're not going to know everything, but this kind of hazing, you got to know about. And I don't know how they're going to prove it or not. And I know Fitzgerald says he didn't know and whatever, all that crap. Well, if you didn't know, then it's a bigger indictment on what kind of a loser you are as a head coach. Because as a head coach, by now, you should be sending the kind of signals every year and several times throughout the year that you better not catch anybody hazing because you'll be kicked off the team, because you will hold them to, in fact, you should tell them that you're going to make them run the stadium till they can't run anymore, and then I'm still going to cut you after that. Really send the message that hazing could never be accepted. And by the way, some of this stuff is just ridiculous, dude. That has no business in football. It doesn't make you a better football player. It doesn't make you any closer to your teammates or not, or it doesn't create a bigger bond or anything like that. It's asinine. It's the kind of stuff that I would end up in a fight. That's what I would do. You tell me I'm hazing, I'm telling you, F you, and I hope you're ready to fight. And by the way, if I have an opportunity, I'm going to break your leg. I'm going to make sure you don't play football. Oh, hey, we're just screwing around. Well, I'm not. You're not hazing me. You're not doing any of that shit to me. And if you do, and you get away with it, I'm coming after you one way or another. I just want you to know. And it's not going to end until I get my revenge. That's the kind of, because that's how I would act for something like that. Because I would not accept being hazed by anybody. Okay? You try to haze me, I'm going to kick your ass. That's basically what's going to happen. Okay? And then I'm going to expose you on top of all of that. That's what I would do. So there is no place for hazing and embarrassing people. And they're doing sexual things that, like, seriously, dude, what does that have to do with anything? When I was a kid, I had a friend that had a sister, and they had those clubs in high school, but they would do stupid hazing things, fun stuff that was out in the open, and it was just fun or whatever. And, but it wasn't degrading like what these people do. And I'm not going to get into the specifics. You guys have read about it. You've heard about it over the years. You know about it. None of this changes. It's all the same kind of play. And what I don't understand is that by now, considering phones and social media and the way people are nowadays, how do you think you're going to get away with all of that? So I have no sympathy for the coaching staff at Northwestern. None whatsoever. And I think you should follow up with, find out who specifically was hazing. So it's not only about firing the coach. You also have to strip scholarships and get rid of the kids that are involved in all of this. You have to send that kind of message. Firing the coach is not enough. You have to leave a lasting impression and send the message that this kind of behavior cannot be accepted. I mean, it's just, it really is just, there's no place for it in society, period. And unfortunately, it's you can't give kids an inch because then they take a mile. So hazing might be something that might have been a little more fun back in the day, but the envelope gets pushed and pushed farther and farther, and it just gets to a point where it's no longer fun. It just becomes now criminal. It becomes embarrassing, it becomes sometimes sexual assault, which it's sexual assault, not hazing. If you're sexually assaulting somebody, you're not hazing them anymore. Zero sympathy for the coaches. I have sympathy for the players that had to go through it, but you cannot stop there. It cannot stop with just Fitzgerald. The message has to be sent a hell of a lot bigger than just the coach. If you allow the players that were doing it to get away with it, you did not solve the problem. And if you want something to last for history for a long time, 10 years from now, they're talking about how they fired Fitzgerald and they kicked out 30 players. That's how you send the message. That's how it's read loud and clear. Yeah, we're staying away from this. I'm not losing my free ride. Big O hazing used to be fun, not too serious, and built bonds with new teammates. Then it got out of hand to the point of being cruel and degrading. Exactly. You know, hey, we used to go and hang out in Key Biscayne, right? Some might get a little drunk, some might get a little high, some might get a little laid, and then everybody went home. And then all of a sudden, they started to, commit crimes. And guess what happened? They closed everything off. You know, it's kind of the way things, have developed over time. And this is why more restrictions happen. Look at the kids in Chicago. They act like complete animals. Did they act like that 20 years ago? No. 30 years ago? No. 40 years ago? No. Now you got to have a curfew. Why? Because now they're attacking cars or destroying them. It's you just, the stuff that we used to do, we kind of had our own boundaries. And those boundaries are gone now. There's no respect for human life at all. Younger people just have no respect for human life. Things have changed. And so they're not allowed the same freedoms we were. Man, for decades, you could leave for lunch in high school. No problem. Nothing happened. For 3 years, I was at Hialeah High. And I'm sure plenty of people at Hialeah High for decades before that. We left for lunch and came back. Nothing happened. It was fine. Then all of a sudden, it started getting crazy. Drag racing and fights and shit happening away. And then they shut you down. And now you can't even walk out to the sidewalk to smoke a cigarette. Not that I was, but others were or whatever. Why? They got you fenced in now. Why? Because you idiots can't actually appreciate the small freedoms you get. So the kids nowadays can't have the freedoms we have because they don't have limitations like we used to put on ourselves. You didn't want to get in trouble with the authorities because it led to trouble with your parents. You feared your parents more than you feared the authorities. Now the kids don't fear their parents or the authorities. That's some screwed up shit. Okay? That's some screwed up shit. And so now the kids in today's world are way dumber than ever. Okay? They do the kind of stupid things like diving off moving boats and all kinds of TikTok challenges and eating Tide Pods. And, it's just the stuff that they do, we would never do. Never. In a million years would we ever do anything like that. We had a lot more common sense. So that's why these kids on football teams can't be given freedoms to be doing any kind of hazing or anything like that, because they're not hazing. They're actually now committing crimes because they don't understand the freedoms of normal things that you do for fun. So now for fun has to be sexual assault. Yeah. It's sad, man. We were hazed by a sorority a couple of weeks later. We broke into their hall and stole their picks, put crickets under every door. They couldn't sleep for days and had to bring in an exterminator. Nice. There you go. That's how you get revenge. We also had the paddle. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I've told you my paddle story. Big O, you are absolutely correct. Most of the young people today feel they're entitled to everything and not work for anything. Amen. Amen. And Jessica Alba in Sin City, it's a good one. Yep. That is definitely a good one. I like that one. Anybody watch the Home Run Derby yesterday? Vladimir Guerrero Jr. winning. By the way, I didn't watch it at all. Okay, but I read, I saw ESPN a little bit yesterday, and obviously they had the highlights of it. I'm just wondering, for those of you, there's 224 right now on the message board. I just want to ask how many of you watched the Home Run Derby, and then this is what I gotta ask: are you really entertained? Is there drama? I'm just wondering, like, is this something that's exciting? Because I'm looking at the highlights, and I've seen these in the past. I used to watch them years ago. I stopped watching this years ago. I forgot which was the last one I watched. I think it's boring as hell. I don't find it exciting at all. I think it's lame. So I just wonder, for those of you that watch it, why? And please don't give me the excuse there was nothing else on. You could go watch anything on YouTube, okay? Seriously. Go watch a documentary on one of your favorite bands or something. I'd rather watch that than watch the Home Run Derby. But I just, that's the thing that came to my mind last night. It's like, okay, I had no interest in watching it, but the people that do watch it, why are you watching? What's so exciting about this? What's so thrilling about this? Tension filled, really? Drama? Baseball, I'm done with many years ago. No, I didn't watch it. No one under the age of 60 watches baseball. No Home Run Derby for me. I'd rather watch cars rust. Think X will eventually move to no. X is X will be a corner, my man. I don't think he wants to be hitting a ton of people. Basketball Jones says snooze fest. Rosendo says unless Babe Ruth returned from the grave. Wow. Red 369. I watched the Home Run Derby. It put me to sleep right away. I watched it, but wasn't too exciting. It has gotten boring. Jonathan Cagle, no, missed Home Run Derby, was flying home from Italy. I'd rather do that. Only thing I know about baseball is that the Astros win every year and probably winning it again this year. No, saw Raw WWE. Hey, by the way, Sean, were you proud of me with my wrestling humor on social media? Was that good wrestling humor that I used? I got for a second 2 thumbs up. Oh, he gave it back to me. Okay. I'm sure Frankie Fresco was proud of me. I'm down to 2 sports, UFC and football. I tuned in for 1 minute, saw the new way that's showing and left. The home run derby has become the dunk contest. It's all been done before. Nothing new and exciting. Gordon, you're right. Miami Breaker 305. It's true. ESPN said Vladdy is the second Cuban general. He's not Cuban, is he? To win the home run derby. I hope it's not true because Vladdy's Dominican. Vladdy was born in Canada. I'm pretty sure of that. Let me look it up a second. Hold on. I think he's poop art, bro. I think he's Canadian, eh? Dude, he was born in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, March 16 of 1999. He's Canadian, eh? He's not Dominican. He's not Cuban. He has Dominican parents or a father. I don't know his mother. I'm not going to get into that. I have no idea if his mother is Dominican. She might be German. I have no idea. But the kid is Canadian. Yes, sir, Sean.
They have him listed as Canadian Dominican.
Bro, he was born in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Okay? He's Canadian. I'm born in Belglade, Florida. I'm freaking American. Okay? I'm as American as Chevrolet and apple pie, baby. Yes, my parents are Cuban, but you are where you're born. So he was born in Canada. He's Canadian, eh? So anybody out there that thinks he's Dominican, you're a hoser. And if you think he's Cuban, why would you say Cuban? He's definitely not Cuban. I mean, I get it if you want to say Dominican because his parents are Dominican, but the dude was born in Canada. Okay? He's a hoser. He's Molson. He's a Maple Leaf. Let's see. ESPN can't do anything right. Yeah, that's true. Let's see. He was born in Canada. Exactly. Yeah, I thought so that he was born in Canada. Big O, most people are better off homeschooling your kids these days. Well, it depends. If you have you seen some parents? This is why we need abortion. Because there's a lot of people that shouldn't have kids. So forget about homeschooling them. They can't even prepare their kids for life, period. So there's a lot of kids that, there's a lot of people that shouldn't have kids. We have way too many people having kids nowadays. Way too many. Too many. Okay? That's why we have so many crappy kids. Because we have so many crappy parents. So forget homeschooling. Some of these people shouldn't even be breeding kids. Okay? They are not qualified to bring a kid into this world financially, mentally, emotionally, intellectually, whatever, dude. That they do not create the kind of environment that a kid needs. That's our real problem in society. Way too many of you out there are producing, and you shouldn't be. All your tubes should be tied. Exactly. So does this mean Alan Poupar is Cuban? I think so. I mean, if you're going to say Vladimir Guerrero, born in Montreal, is Dominican, ESPN makes him Cuban when he's got a Dominican father, which, whatever. I don't. Maybe the ESPN. They're all the same. Mexican, Dominican, Cuban, Puerto Rican. They're all the same. Aren't they all named Jose? Aren't they all named Rodriguez? Yeah, they're all the same. So ESPN's got him Cuban. Some got him Dominican, but he was born in Montreal. But you guys might be right. Alan Poupart's been here in South Florida forever. Maybe he's no longer Canadian either. Maybe he's Cuban. That could be the case. That could be the case. He's Dominican. He hardly speaks English. Come on, Big O. Bro, he was born in Canada. Whether he likes it or not, he drinks Molson beer. It's just the way it goes. That's all. What can I tell you? You can't change some things in people. You know? And he loves his pancakes and he loves his maple syrup. Can't take it away from him. Manny Navarro. I don't know if he's Cuban either. He might be Canadian. I have no idea. We'll find out next.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. Time for Canes fans to get what they want. Information, insight, and perspective. It's the Caneswear Miami Hurricanes Report with Manny Navarro, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Here's Big O and insider Manny Navarro.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr., born in Montreal, Cuban or Dominican?
Cuban or Dominican or Canadian Dominican? I think technically he's got to put Canadian because that's where he was born. But the reality is we know he's Dominican.
Yeah, I get that, but technically he's really Canadian. No, because on ESPN apparently somebody said they labeled him as Cuban. Did they? I didn't know that, actually.
I didn't know that either.
I didn't watch
Cuban. Who knows?
Do you watch the home run derby? Because I find that shit boring as hell. I have like zero interest in watching.
Yeah, I really don't watch baseball until October, though. I mean, that's the time when I really pretty much tune in. When the playoffs are going on at night and I need something midweek to entertain me between football games. Okay. That's when I'm watching baseball. And so this year maybe I'll watch a little more because the Marlins are in it.
Regular season? Wow.
What's that?
You're done with the regular season. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't really do much for me. I just think, they've tried to make it – look, the game is better. They sped it up, right? They took out all the breaks. So it's not as lengthy as it used to be. But I'm fine with just watching highlights. I don't really need to watch the regular season. I can tune in, look at the standings whenever I want, look at the stats, and that's more than enough.
Yeah. It's a shame, right? 'Cause, like, I grew up, baseball was my favorite sport.
Right,
and
me
then
too.
By the time I got like to 10, I think football took over. It was like by the mid 70s, I'm like, I'm leaning more now to football than anything else. And then baseball, went to second place, and then eventually it dropped to third now behind basketball. And now sometimes, dude, it's like fourth or fifth behind some other things at times. It all depends. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Like, you give me a great UFC match and a baseball game, and I'm probably going to go watch the UFC match. How nuts is that, man?
It's a sad reality of the world we live in. But baseball did it to itself, oh. It's such poor marketing, just such, they're same teams every year in the playoffs. There's nothing exciting about it.
No, I'm with you. All right. After we spoke last week, offensive tackle Derek Plaz, which, by the way they come up with the spellings of names nowadays, it's just absolutely awesome. I've never seen Derek spelled that way. Well, hey, listen, my daughter's name is Caitlin. Okay, spell it.
Caitlin, I would assume Caitlin. No, Caitlin.
You know how I spelled it?
How?
Kaytytlin.
Okay, well, listen, Hispanics usually put the Y in the names, right? I mean, I got a
Right.
Y, and my oldest Jocelyn has a Y in it, so it's the way it is.
No, very rare you'll see anybody, spell Caitlin Kayt. It's just that's not normal. You know what I
Right.
mean? So I gotta say, Derek's parents, hey, we're we're vibing along the same way. All right, so this big mofo, because he is 6'5" already,
Yeah.
289. So talk to me about this guy committing on Friday.
Yeah, look, Mario did a great job with the offensive line in this past offseason. So really what you're looking to do in your second full run is to get more depth, right? In case guys transfer out, in case there's injuries, whatever the case is. And so you look at Samson Okalola and Francis Mauigoa, the two five-star freshmen that he signed in the last class. Those guys are 6'5", 6'6", 300 pounds. Derek is more of the athletic offensive tackle, right? Mauigoa is 330. Okunlola's 305, really great feet. He's more of the left tackle prototype, and Plaz essentially is the same. So you just
The
continue.
Jake Long type, right? Because Jake
Right.
Long was like a defensive end playing tackle.
That's what you have to do in today's game. You have to have that athleticism, and so Derek is very much of that same build, that same talent. I know he's only a 3-star. Fans get all, hey, what is it with all these 3 stars? Yes, you'd love to sign all of the top 100 kids like Alabama and Georgia and everything else, but
if you read your story,
yeah,
in that same story, you talk about how they're going after a couple of other big guys too at the same time. So it's not like it's stopping there. So,
right. No, they're making the effort. The problem is you go 5-7 and you change the coaching staff, except for Alex Cristobal and who's your offensive line coach. You make wholesale changes. It's going to be tough to get the elite kids because you got to have the relationships, you got to have the winning, you got to have everything else that comes with it. So, look, there are a lot of NFL offensive linemen who were 2 and 3-star kids. Some of them weren't even ranked coming out of high school, and they're just big mofo's who are athletic and get taught and coached up. The reality is, though, most offensive linemen at the high school level are not well coached. They're just big dudes who stand in front of guys. So this kid, Derek Plaz, has the body and he's athletic. And in the end, yes, he's not ranked very high, but he was committed to Penn State. So there obviously were other really good schools interested. NC State was another finalist for him. So good pickup for Mario. It adds depth to a very big and athletic offensive line room.
Devon Mitchell, tight end, ends up picking Oklahoma over Bama and Miami. What kind of a loss was that?
Well, listen, that's one of those things when you go out of state, right? You go into Texas and California, which is where this kid is from. He's originally from Texas, and he's basically transferred to go play his junior year in California. You're swinging for the fences, right? And sometimes you hit the fence, right? And that's what happened with Miami. I think they came in second in this chase. And sometimes, especially in this era, that's not all bad, right?
Right.
If Oklahoma falls apart or this kid goes there and just doesn't have the right kind of fit where for whatever reason things don't work out, Miami could be the rebound chick. And sometimes in college football, being the rebound chick is the good deal. So I think it's good that Miami fought for him. They ended up finishing second, and we'll see what happens down the road. But it's not a huge loss. Miami's recruited the tight end position well in these years that Mario has been here. They've signed. They've got 2 guys signed from last class. They got 1 already committed in this one. A talented kid out of Vegas who's a little bit more on the smaller side, but real athletic and can be used all over the field. So to me, not a huge loss. Good effort by Mario to try to pull a kid that really they had no business getting.
Fins Up 15 has a question for you. Can Miami be the 3rd best team in the ACC behind FSU and Clemson, or are they still a couple of schools ahead?
It's a good question. I think that's where they want to be by the end of the season. I think you want to be the 3rd best team. I think the problem is, and I know people may roll their eyes when I say this, but you have programs like NC State, who have had some success here the last couple of years where they're winning 8, 9, 10 games every single year. You got a team like North Carolina that you still haven't beaten in a while, right? Mac Brown and company. He's got Drake May. Those guys keep beating them. I think for Miami, yes, that's where you want to be at the end of the season. I don't know that that's where they are right now starting the season. I think they've got a lot to prove, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Miami does. I think, there's some guys at the cornerback position that I really want to see and get a good look at. They did a good job going on and getting experienced transfers, but now you got to mesh it all together and make it work in this new defense. That's gonna bring a lot more pressure and be a lot more aggressive. I think if the defense plays much better, which I expect them to, then yes, they can finish the season as the third best team.
Okay. You got a story on Van Dyke feeling a little more comfortable. And last year, one of the things, well, look, I think Van Dyke's a decent quarterback. My real problem last year was more with the coach did not compliment Van Dyke and understand who he was coaching and where the kid excels. I'm clearly hoping that this coaching staff understands what kind of quarterback they have and where he excels. So talk to me a little bit about this story you wrote about Van Dyke and feeling a little better going into this season.
Yeah, I mentioned to you guys that I drove up to Vero Beach last month in the middle of the NBA Finals to go hang out with a lot of these Hurricanes. They were doing a little football camp up in Vero Beach, and so I made the drive. I hung out with Tyler for about half an hour. I talked to Colby Young, a bunch of different guys that were out there, Elijah Arroyo. And really, this is more about Tyler and kind of what he was thinking, because you go back to the end of last season, they were 5-7. They fired the whole staff basically. Josh Gaddis, things didn't work out. Tyler wasn't healthy. This story just sort of provides a pick-up point from there, right after spring football, when the reports came out that he was thinking about going to Alabama and would he hook up with Tommy Rees over there. The reality is, I think, Tyler was more nervous about the hire in January when they didn't have an offensive coordinator, when he didn't know who Mario was going to bring in. Once he got a chance to sit down, hang out with Shannon Dawson, they went bowling together, just the two of them. Once they had some private time and they were able to talk it out, I think Tyler really got this idea of, hey man, this guy is so much more chill and relaxed compared to the guy that I was just dealing with in Josh Gaddis, who's very high strung, very sort of frustrated by the situation, all the injuries that they had, and sort of the tough situation that they were doing. So I think this offense, the way it plays, it's much more like Rhett Lashley's offense in the sense that he's going to be able to spread the field around, change plays at the line of scrimmage. Shannon Dawson's going to give him that trust where if he sees something that he doesn't like and he wants to audible out of a pass into a run.
Check with me, or is it a full audible where he has the play?
I think he has a lot more freedom than he did with Josh Gaddis. There were times last year when Josh Gaddis wanted them to run the football and he couldn't change the play. He had to run the football, and he would see something. He'd say, hey, I see a mismatch here with my outside receiver. I want to send him on a 9 route, or I want to send him on a post, and I can't do it because I'm locked into this play. And I think now Shannon Dawson is the kind of coordinator who trusts his quarterback to make the right decisions. And so Tyler wanted to be in an offense that allowed him to do that. I think in January he was worried that he may not be, and I think Mario did a great job working with him to find the right kind of coordinator, not just for him, but for the program, but ultimately to keep Tyler happy and to keep him from going in the transfer portal and leaving. Now, the thing is, Tyler, I don't think ever was going to leave. He loves living down here. Okay, he's got a great situation. He's got a beautiful girlfriend, Morgan Pankow, who's a golfer at Miami. He's driving a Tesla. He's got all these NIL deals. No, he didn't want to go to Tuscaloosa or Notre Dame or anywhere else. I think he's just, it's business, right? You got to do what's best for you. You're supposed to be in the NFL, and you got to think, hey, is this coach going to work with me so that we find the right kind of coordinator, not just for this offense, but for me, and to help me get to the NFL.
All right, good stuff. What are you working on The Athletic so folks can check you out?
Well, we'll have some more articles. The article I'm doing on USF will be coming out on Thursday. I got a chance to talk to Alex Goldich for a long time. Again, they're building that $340 million on-campus it's not on-campus stadium. They already have the $22 million practice facility, which they didn't have before. So, USF is one of those programs that it's in a great market, in the Tampa market, 13th best TV market in the country. And they were number 2 in the country way back under Jim Levitt, if you remember, back in 2007, 2006, he had that thing rolling, and they owned UCF in the rivalry. Now UCF's in the Big 12, and they've won 4 games in the last 3 years. So Alex Goldich, really smart guy, did a great job at Tennessee as the offensive coordinator, did a great job with all of those players. They had some good guys get drafted this past season, and he's got an exciting offense, and he's a really, really smart recruiter. He spent 10 years recruiting at Iowa State and Illinois and basically working his ass off, learning how to evaluate players at a young age. 23 years old, he was a recruiting coordinator. So, a guy that's kind of like Mario, where he cut his teeth in recruiting, and then became, took the next step and became a really good offensive coach. And so now he's heading up USF. And so there'll be a nice read on him. And look, we're 2 weeks away from the ACC Media Day, so there's going to be a lot more football conversation for all of those who are bored this summer on coming up here in the next few weeks.
So what we're doing, we're stretching it here in the off season, bro. We're just stretching.
That's right. We do the best we can.
Trying to get there, my brother. Trying to. You know what the good thing is? There isn't like players getting arrested or problems or investigations or anything. So you know what? There's a good thing about being boring right now, okay? And all we're talking about is a recruit here. You gain one, you lose one, whatever. That's all right. At least it's not problems that we're talking about in the off season. I think that's a positive overall. So,
yeah,
good shit.
Different era at Miami. I think, those kind of guys aren't on the roster anymore. You don't really see too many of those guys on the roster.
We just got to get through the bullshit, bro.
Yeah.
Mario through these first couple of brutal years of turning over the roster and people learning the system and him building the depth and I know it's hard because it's been 20 years of mediocre play, and so just adding another year of mediocre play last year doesn't help you. It doesn't make you feel good as a fan. But I know in years 3 and 4 and 5, Mario will be coming out of all of this, and then you'll start seeing your own real good draft picks and all that. And you'll start to feel better about the program. They'll start winning big games. They'll start having big draft picks. And then then you can reminisce about 3-4 years ago when Mario got there and the struggles and all that kind of stuff. And then you can look at it. But it's just, we have to go through the BS, bro. Unfortunately.
We really do, yeah.
And we just got to give the man some time to fix this shit. And hopefully in another, I think years 3 and 4 is where we start to see the light and really start to see the fruits of all this work. The what's it called? The Derek Plazas, those kind of guys that a couple of years from now, we're going to see them, playing well. And we're going to go, okay, this is what they were building for. You know what I mean? It just takes a little time, dude.
Absolutely. And I think they've got their mind in the right place. When you make an investment in a coach, like this, you don't get Mark Richt at the end of his career. You don't get Manny Diaz, first-time head coach. Those are all important steps that you have to take if you're ever going to get over the hump.
Yeah. And you said it for a long time. Get the experienced guy. Get the guy that's built the program before. Here's the guy. He did it at Oregon, and he'll do it at an even bigger level here because you'll get bigger level players to come to Miami than Oregon overall. So you're the stage has been set. It's been proven. You can win bigger here than you can at Oregon. You just got to get back there, and we just got to give the man some time and go through some rough patches, unfortunately. All right, follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. More importantly, subscribe to The Athletic and support him and all the great writers there. Manny, as always, thank you, my brother. We'll catch up later on in the week.
All right, thank you. Take care, buddy.
You got it. There you go. Caneswear, baby. We love Brett, Jeff, all the great people out there at Caneswear. They make it happen. They've got practically anything and everything with a Canes logo on it. If you can't go personally to Caneswear, well, you can go online at caneswear.com. If you order over $99, you will get free shipping. They've got all kinds of Inter Miami gear and T-shirts and messy T-shirts and messy jerseys and all that kind of stuff. So get on down to Caneswear. They got everything and anything practically with a Canes logo on it. They got Dolphins gear, Miami Heat. Miami Marlins are red hot. So go check it out, caneswear.com.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
right. So Giovanni's also got a daughter named Caitlin, but you spelled it traditional. And Lofi says one of my daughters is Caitlin, also traditional spelling too. Yep. That's why I kind of spelled mine a little different. King Short says my daughter's name is Caitlin, but he spelled it the other way with the Kate, Kate, and then the Lyn. That's the other way that they spell it. Yep. I guess so. We all kind of it's one of those names. It's a popular name, I think. I just wanted to kind of change it up a little bit and say, okay, well, let me change. Now, the sad part is for my daughter, okay? And it kind of it happens with my name, by the way, not with my wife. My wife has a name that it's everywhere. But wherever you go, okay, I don't care if you go to Disney World or you go to SeaWorld or you go to the Grand Canyon, right? Everybody, wherever you go, they've got their cups or keychains or whatever with names on it, right? A through Z, right? Alice and whatever. And so when you get to the K's, she never has the Caitlin like that because nobody spells it like that. It's always spelled with the C or the one that this gentleman has, King Short, which is Katelyn. That's the other Caitlin that you would spell outside of the CAIT. So my daughter will never find Kaytlin. Never. She will ever find that. By the way, I never find Orlando. I've never found that as a kid. Didn't matter where I went. Even if I went to Disney World, that's in Orlando. It's actually technically in Kissimmee. But whatever, even there, they don't have the name Orlando in any cup or anything like that. I would always wonder, is that name so uncommon? It didn't seem like it was totally uncommon, the name Orlando. But man, I never found it. Now, my daughter, I knew right away when I named her that way, and I specifically put the spelling. It was my doing, by the way, not my wife's. My wife agreed to the name, but I'm the one that threw the curve on how to spell it. She was like, "Oh, okay, that's cool. Okay," she was like, "Oh, all right, different," that kind of stuff. But yeah, I ruined it for her. She's never and never will be able to buy anything that has already the names on it when you go to those places. Done. Unfortunately, I did not help my daughter in that sense. Some of you are lucky. You have a name that is, normal enough that it's on those, your keychain, cup, or whatever, and you buy it, you take it home as a souvenir with your name on it. I've never been able to do that, and my daughter has never been able to do that, unfortunately. Not there for us. Oh, man. Ray says, that's the same problem I have with my name. My name is Raymond, Raimond, but every keychain, everyone always says Raymond, the regular Raymond. Yeah, Raymond. Now, can't you at least get away with, but see, your Ray is not even Ray either. You can't even get away with that because your Ray is Rai. Your Ray is a rye. So, yeah, no, you can't even get that either. So you have the same problem. No middle name. I don't have a middle name. She doesn't have a middle name. My wife has a middle name, but we didn't give my daughter a middle name. No middle name. I didn't get one either, actually. I'm just a junior. That's it. I'm just a Bill on Capitol Hill. By the way, we got a Wemby watch tonight, 10:30, Wizards and Spurs. If you want to watch a little Wemby, I'd rather watch Wemby than watch the home run derby. Put it that way. Yes, sir.
Didn't they shut him down?
Oh, they did. I did not know that. Wow. They did? I did not hear that. Wemby got shut down? Why? What happened? He got injured? I did not know that. Really? That's news to me, my brother. My bad. So I guess I don't need to watch Wemby tonight. Let's see. Wemby Spurs shut down Victor Wembanyama for the rest of the summer league. You all right? Kurt Heelan, I'm reading it right here. In an expected move, the Spurs confirmed the number one pick is done after 2 summer league games. Along with 2 games, all along, 2 games was the plan. Spurs wanted him to get a taste of the NBA, and he got it. Teams saw what it wanted to see, now giving him a break after a busy 12 months. Oh, pobrecito. Wow. This guy, Pops, is already doing the load management thing in Summer League for a 19-year-old? I got to talk to Pop. I'm going to listen to what he's got to say when Bayama says. That's kind of weak, I got to say. His ass needs to play. But whatever. I mean, personally, I need him to play for my entertainment tonight at 10:30. I was actually looking forward to it. I did not know that they shut him down. I did not see a story. Thank you, Sean. I would have been looking forward to it all day. And what an idiot. Like, he's not even playing tonight. So that sucks. All right, no Wemby watch. Oh, well, I lose. No Wemby. No Wemby for me. Big O Dolphins fans from Charlotte, North Carolina. 1 month until our first preseason game. Historical season coming. Yes, it is, Chad. Let's see. I would like to watch Wemby at Wembley. Karun, that would be a win situation watching Wemby at Wembley. I'd gladly pay you for a cheeseburger on Tuesday for a Wembley at Wembley today. Big O, that's how fragile these young guys are. Good grief. 19 and shutting them down. Can't even play them part-time minutes. Just pathetic. Yeah, I find it kind of weak that they shut him down after 2 games. I mean, give me a break. So, Joe Cronin. You've been waiting for Dalvin Cook. Your wait for Dalvin Cook is coming to an end because he's going to sign right before training camp starts. All right, he'll probably sign with Miami reluctantly. That's probably what will happen. But it looks like we're going to have to wait now, which I told you, by the way. Didn't I tell you that this was going to stretch out into August and maybe early September? Did I not tell you that? When you guys were asking, what's going to happen first? Is it going to be Cook or is it going to be Lillard? I told you Cook for sure because we got training camp this month. So he's going to report right before training camp because that's what would make sense. Now, as for the Lillard thing, if you listened to Cronin yesterday, the good thing is he didn't mention Miami by name, but he mentioned in passing kind of like, it's a matter of getting the deal we want and Damian getting to where he wants to go. So technically, Joe Cronin backed off. It was more of a mea culpa yesterday about how he has failed, which, by the way, he failed. He failed to build the team around Lillard. He talked a lot of shit about building a team around Lillard, and he did nothing to build a team around Lillard this offseason. Everything he did was to win down the line. None of it was to win now. And you don't even know with what he has, can he even win down the line? But I'll give him credit at least. He got off of the, curmudgeon type thing. And yeah, it's going to, I told you this also this is going to take a 3rd and a 14. That's all. And Andy Ellisberg is fantastic at all of this. Joe Cronin sucks at this, but Andy Ellisberg is fantastic at this. So he'll find the 3rd or 4th teams to take some extra guys, get some extra picks, and give them the 4 or 5 first-rounders total that they're looking for. And that's it. And he's hoping that whoever you trade for Tyler or anything else to get picks, that you're trading with teams that aren't that good so that picks are a little better, because he knows that the Heat first-round picks usually aren't very good first-round picks. So the good thing about Joe Cronin's message yesterday was that he didn't make it sound like it's an impossibility, that it can't be done. It's all doable. Now, do they want a little more out of it? And that's fine. And by the way, there's no hurry. The Heat have made enough moves that they are set up that once they do add Lillard, they can then add another piece or two to kind of finish out the roster. There'll be plenty of veterans out there. They'll be fine, dude. And remember, they will be targets for buyouts. So at the end of the upcoming season, towards the end, when we get to the buyout period, there'll be players that are going to get bought out, and they're going to love to want to join Lillard, along with, obviously, what's it called? Now I'm brain farting. With Butler and Bam and all these cats. So there'll be people that will want to join them, and it'll be a line going out the door. You know what I'm saying? So the good thing is that Cronin kind of got off that whole curmudgeon crap, and he was more realistic. But it's going to take some time, and guess what? There's no hurry. So good thing is we'll have the Dalvin Cook situation resolved in the next 2 weeks leading up to camp, and then we'll have the Lillard situation resolved, I would say sometime in late August to very early September. But nobody wants Lillard coming back to Portland, because that would be an ugly situation. And the Heat don't want Tyler Hero coming back to Miami after he's already been told pretty much, you're out of here. You're no longer in the Heat's plans for the future. That's it. We'll miss you, Katya. All right, let's go. Marcel Louis Jacques starts off hour number 3.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Miles an hour, that's a Category 4 hurricane. 3 deaths are reported in Florida after more than 24 were killed in the Caribbean. This
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
All rise, football fans, as the Welton Rayon Miami Dolphins report with Marcel Louis Jacques is in session.
Walton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider Marcel Louis-Jacques.
All right. Good afternoon, young man. How you feeling? You feeling good?
Feeling great. Productive little morning so far. I had to take the dog to the vet for a little animal checkup. He's all right. Matter of fact, I think they tried to upsell me on some ear cleaning, He's like, oh, has he been acting weird? No, he's fine. I know what it smells like. I know what it looks like when he has an ear infection.
His ears, don't you?
He ain't got no ear infection. He's fine.
Yeah. Our dog's ears. That's not that hard, bro.
Nah. It's not that hard. I think to clear it out, I had to squirt some in his ear, let him do the shaking, and then, wipe it a little bit, let it marinate. But no, I don't know if any of y'all have ever been around a dog with an ear infection before.
Yeah.
The smell is so pungent that it woke me up when he walked into the room. My bed was pretty low to the ground, but it's got a frame and a box spring. He walked into that room. I said, "Ooh, good morning, Morty. You're going to the vet today." That's a reference for the OG. Only a couple people are gonna understand that reference, bro. Only a few people. I hope that joke lands, man. I hope that lands, man, because that meant a lot to me. That little joke meant a lot to me right here.
Well, you'll see the reaction on the chat board. Usually, you'll get the reaction to it. All right, so let's get into, let me go a little off the beaten path for you. It's still football, but it's college. Are you shocked at stupidity? And by the way, they're supposed to be smart at Northwestern. Are you shocked that this is still going on in today's world? That you still think you can get away with hazing? That's the part I kind of find ignorant and stupid, that by now you should know, one, there's no need for it anyway. Plus, they have pushed it to an envelope that's disgusting, what you're doing now to initiate people or whatever. Are you shocked that it's still going on, that people would be still that stupid at big programs like this to try to get away with this?
No, not particularly, because I don't know how old Pat Fitzgerald is, but I know if he's known Darren Ravel for 27 years, that he's probably at least 50-ish.
Yeah.
It takes a long time for a generational cycle to complete. And right now, there are coaches, many coaches, most even, who are still grew up in that era where, you haze, tough love, suck it up. If you don't do this, then you're not dedicated to the team shit. And until that cycles out completely, I'm not gonna say dies out, because I'm not trying to do all that, but until that era cycles out, with the exception of the few who have, who have evolved with the times, of course, then I'm not gonna be surprised when things like this pop up. It's gonna be another 15 years or so before we start seeing, people who are in my generation or so, who, grew up in that I'm not fucking doing that era,
right?
Just finally get up to the coaching ranks.
I love that.
It's disgusting. It's awful. But I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked and surprised. Oh my God, how could this happen in 2020? I believe it. You still see these things, trickle down high school level, college level. But yeah, dude, hazing, especially in the era of a transfer portal. Now, I don't know how much control coaches have over players that enter the transfer portal. But man, if that was me, the second y'all asked me to do this little Shrek run, the second y'all asked me to take my clothes off and do anything, I'm out. And I'm talking on my way out too. I'm entering that portal. I'm telling every coach, every school that contacts me why I'm leaving. What happened?
Yeah.
Is it competition? No, he made me take my clothes off and run around in the locker room. No, he made me do that. It was sexual harassment in there.
No, we're fighting, actually. If you try to make me do that, we're fighting, actually, is what we're doing.
Yeah, I'm gone.
He's 48, but I never thought of that explanation. It's a generational thing that we've got to kind of get through it. And maybe we need enough programs to suffer and embarrassment and all that to kind of set the example for the next generation. Like, yo, bro, that's stuff that used to happen. No, we don't do that shit here. You know,
And
that
you know
kind
what
of,
though?
like
You know
that.
what though? Like you mentioned, like Northwestern is supposed to be a good school of smart people. You know what Northwestern is known for, at least in our circle?
What's
It's a
that?
journalism program.
Yeah.
It's a journalism program. And that's what you saw on display here. That's what
Yeah.
you saw. What those students were able to do, able to uncover, despite the backlash it was going to get from boosters and big time Darren Rovell type reporters. And even I've seen a high powered agent. I'm not going to drop names, but I have seen a high powered agent even take the side of Northwestern after the firing because he's got Pat Fitzgerald's back. A major agent with big time clients did that. So, like, in the face of all that adversity, to still stay true to your journalistic integrity and do the work they did, I mean, it's worth a massive round of applause, man, because, like, those kids really did their thing on that. It's something that school, while obviously the acts of themselves are something to be ashamed of, the actions of that journalism program and that student paper is something to be proud of, conversely.
By the way, did you check the chat board? See all the smiling faces and laughing
I
faces?
did not. I'm on my I'm using one of my phones right now for the camera, so it's hard to like tap into it. I can try to hop on the YouTube live.
You're getting reactions, so just so you'll know, you are getting.
As long as they get it, man. As long as they get it, that's what makes me happy.
They get it. They get it. They're definitely getting it there. All right. Before I ask you about Dalvin, which there's really not much there to talk about, but Kyler Murray. I was a believer in Kyler Murray because I thought, out of all things, he's a passer. And to me, he wasn't going to be the guy that was going to be running all the time. He can run, but he'll run because he has to run and all that kind of stuff. And he's a water bug. It's hard to catch him. But now he is coming back from a knee injury. And because of his lack of commitment, professionalism, whatever it is, that maybe he doesn't study enough or whatever, I'm kind of almost at the point that, and maybe this year's unfair because he's coming back from a knee injury, but I'm almost at the point where I'm kind of saying, yeah, this kid may not cross that threshold to become the franchise quarterback. Where are you with Kyler Murray right now?
I want to see Kyler Murray in a stable system. I don't know what Gannon provides. I don't know what kind of coach he's going to be. I'm just trying not to judge him based on an awkward opening presser because Sirianni was awkward as hell in his opening presser, and he just led his team to the Super Bowl in his second season. So I'm not going to judge.
Actually, likable. I like Sirianni. Actually, I think he's.
So Gannon is coming from that. He's coming from that system. I want to see him in a stable environment first. Like obviously, there's a little bit of petulance. There, like we've seen it before throughout his career. Even at starting all the way back in Oklahoma or at Texas A&M, we kind of saw that. That like I'm him. Don't make me. I don't. It doesn't respond super well to adversity, but obviously ultra uber talented. I think he has about as live of an arm as anybody in the NFL right now. Nobody's questioning his ability as a passer. It's can he stay healthy? Is his style of play conducive to a long career? And can he be a leader? Can he kind of grow up and focus and work there? I like Kyler. I think I saw one of these quarterback tier charts that went from like 1 to 7, and they listed Kyler in tier 6. I think that is blasphemy. He is not a bad quarterback whatsoever. When you look at him play and you watch him play, there's nothing about his game that makes you say this guy can't play. Like that's crazy. I think the Cardinals have just been a pinnacle of dysfunction ever since he was drafted there. You don't get back-to-back, number 1 and number 4 picks in the draft, number 1 and number 3 picks in the draft without being awful. So like I want to give him the benefit of the doubt here, but coming from a knee injury, it is kind of interesting how his mobility is going to be affected because, like you said, he's not necessarily a runner, but he is so shifty and quick that he really isn't going to take many hits. It's almost like that Russell Wilson school of scrambling, where you just kind of you got these quick movements, not a lot of design runs, but you could take off and go when you need to. He's good at he can slide. Obviously, he's a first-round pick in the MLB draft as well. He knows how to slide. He knows how to protect his body. And he's not – I think he's short, but he's not small. if that makes it. Like Tyreek. Tyreek is short, but he's not small per se. Bryce Young is short and small. Kyler is a little more built, a little more well-built than that. But I think he's a little slept on here. Obviously, if the Cardinals are horrible again and get the number 1 pick again, the irony of what's going to happen to him is the same way he got into the league, in which a number 1 overall pick is going to replace him. You don't pass on Caleb Williams if you have the number 1 pick, even if you have Kyler. But I don't think it's going to come to that. I think he's a better player than he gets a lot of credit for.
Let's see if he could cross that threshold, bro, because, man, we've been waiting for a while, and now this knee injury obviously is going to set him back quite a bit. All right, Dalvin Cook. Does his agent suck at poker? Does Dalvin Cook suck at poker? Because I think they went about this all wrong. The fact that they met with the Dolphins the second they got released, I think they misread the entire market. I think he and his agent didn't really understand the lack of importance for running backs nowadays in today's NFL. And it's shown all over the place. And I think they're in shell shock, actually, right now, that nobody's given them a sexy offer. And even if the Dolphin offer isn't sexy, it's not that much less than everybody else's, but it's the problem is that all these offers are way lower than what they expected. So what are we expecting from the bad poker players?
I understand where they're coming from, though, because, as we've talked about previously during this segment, Dalvin represents kind of a rarity in the league when it comes to big name running backs who enter free agency while they're still in their prime. It's not something that you usually see. You usually see a guy like Zeke Elliott or maybe Le'Veon Bell, who are either like on the obvious back end of their careers or baggage randomly took a year off and was never the same, something like that. But like the last time, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, the last time a top tier running back hit free agency in his prime. It just doesn't happen. Those guys get re-signed until they can't run anymore. Like it's kind of ironic, right? Because we say, running backs aren't valuable, they're not valuable, but the cream of the crop never really seems to hit the market. It's not like wide receivers or linemen and cornerback. Like it's not like that. Like they usually stay with the team. So I understand where they're coming from, where they thought, okay, there's probably going to be interest here. But again, you have to look at the market itself and say, okay, I'm sure the Texans, the Cardinals, the teams with crazy amounts of space, like if he has expressed interest in just getting paid and going to play, I'm sure he wouldn't have any problem getting a decent contract from a team like that. But if he wants to win, good teams don't usually have a lot of cap space to pay $10-12 million to a running back. It's just that's not the case here. So there's the conundrum here. One side's got to fall. It's this like rock in a hard place type situation. We're hearing obviously a lot of noise about the Jets' interest in him. I feel like the Jets' interest makes less sense than the Dolphins. If I'm going to be honest here, it makes less sense than the Dolphins because they have a legitimate RB1 on that team already in Breece Hall. I know he's coming off that torn ACL, but even behind him is Michael Carter, who was very good as a rookie a couple years ago. So like they not only do they have a tandem, like Miami has a tandem, those guys have 3 years or less in the league right now. Like it's going to stunt their growth adding a guy like Dalvin Cook. So that noise doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. I'll believe that when I see it. But I again, we've been saying it since the jump. It's not going to be a big money offer to Dalvin Cook to come play for Miami. You've been talking all this. He's honestly, I think they've maybe let it know too much that they want to come home, that they're interested in a homecoming. Because now the Dolphins they're saying, what do we need to bid? Who are we bidding against?
Right.
We're not going to overpay. You just said you want to come here. I'm not going to pay.
Right.
Take a hometown discount. Like we have always said, $4 to $6 million, $6 million on the high end. That Chase Edmonds type money. That's the kind of deal that's going to get Dalvin Cook to Miami. It's not going to be 8.5, 9.5, 10. It's not going to be anything crazy.
I'm with you. All right. Follow him on Twitter at Marcel_LJ. And, of course, catch his work there at ESPN and doing his thing here twice a week with our Welt and Rayom Miami Dolphins report. Marcel, enjoy the rest of your day, my friend. We will catch up later in the week. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
There you go. Marcel Louis Jacques. Call my friends at Welton Rayom. Jeff Welt, Daniel Rayom. They know how to get it done, folks. We are in hurricane season. Okay? It's going to be raining every day. And you never know when you end up having a leak, a roof issue, a water issue. We see floods are happening all over the place. Those of you that live in some flooded zones like in Fort Lauderdale, I know my friends in Sweetwater. I know my friends out in Brickell. You know, there are certain parts of our Tri-County area that have a tendency to suffer from, obviously, floods on any kind of shower that happens. So if you happen to live in one of those areas, you suffer some kind of condo damage, home damage, business owner claims, please call Welch and Rayom. If you're dealing with bankruptcy, personal injury, commercial litigation, homeowner property damage, criminal defense, please call my guys, Dan and Jeff. They know how to get it done. They're in Hollywood. They've been servicing South Florida for well over 20 years, folks. 954-966-4646. Better yet, save it on the cell phone, okay? One of our listeners that lives in Orlando came down to hire Welton Rayom. You can do the same thing, but what I want you to do, you may not have any water damage right now, thank the Lord. You may not have any damage right now. You may not be in any kind of issue right now. But if you are dealing with it, then call this number, 954-966-4646. But better yet, save it because you might need it for a rainy day. We are in hurricane season. So the second that damage happens, you're going to call the insurance company. You're going to make that mistake, and they're going to send their adjusters. Instead, call Welton Rayom. They will send their adjusters. 954-966-4646.
This has been another session of the Welton Rayom Miami Dolphins Report with Marcel Louis Jacques. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
All right. And for you, Isaiah, I would not put Brandon Marshall ever in the Hall of Fame. Okay. So there you go. I don't fall for his phoniness, dude. You know what I mean? I think he's a bad person. I don't even think that he has mental issues. I think he's just we have a lot of people that use mental issues and hide behind that when they're just bad people. You know, sometimes you're just a bad person. And you do a lot of things that are bad. You know what's good? 7-Eleven, apparently they're giving away, they're giving away free Slurpees today? Did you know that?
Of course, it's 7-Eleven. Every 7-Eleven, July 11th, they do it. I wish they'd give away some chili dogs.
No. But anyway, no hot dogs for me. Sorry. Just, after that experience, it's going to be hard for me to just go get a dog somewhere. I got to be honest. Powerball's up to $725 million. Clearly, I didn't win it. Tell you. But a free Slurpee sounds good. A Coke Slurpee. I got to get the Coke one. And then, of course, you got at one point or another, you got to have a headache, right? You got to have that brain freeze for one moment, right? And you sip that Slurpee a little too fast. You know who you are. Anyway, so 7-Eleven free Slurpee and Powerball up to $725 million. Woj, what's that quote? Portland doesn't love what Miami has, but it may be the best that they can get. Well, Joe, your own screwed up fault. You didn't build around him, and this is what happens. Coke float, bro. Vanilla Coke float. Nah, just Coke. Plain Jane for me. Looks like you didn't quit the Coke. Well, I mean, if I'm going to get a Slurpee, I got to get a Coke Slurpee. I'm sorry. Yeah, I won't quit the Coke. I'll get back on the Coke. So, yeah. I'm just saying, if I'm going to get a free Slurpee, I'm not getting the cherry one. I'm getting the Coke one. I apologize for being honest. At that moment, is it really that bad if I'm getting a free Slurpee that I go cherry or I go Coke? Come on. Don't be a sourpuss on it. Don't rain on my parade. I'm trying to get a free Slurpee here. I'm trying to stay away from the Coke, and I have. But, if I'm going to fall off the wagon for a free 7-Eleven Coke Slurpee, I don't know. That doesn't sound like a bad thing to do. Do I do it before or after the movie for today, Mission Impossible? Oh, have you lost any weight? Yes, I have. I've lost, I think 9 pounds, but not a lot. Not a lot. It's not, I'm a big guy, so 9 pounds ain't shit. Need a lot. Come on, Big O. If you win the Powerball, you will still have the time for us, right? Right? If not, don't play it. Oh, I will definitely have time for you guys. You know what I mean? Now, the background might be a little different. It might be like some beach back there. I might be in some destination somewhere around the world doing the show, that kind of stuff. But I'll do it still. I'm the kind of crazy bastard that I could hit it big and still, do the show. Less pressure, too. By the way, if your business, we are headed into football season, you want to be a proud sponsor of our show, and maybe you want to sponsor one of our insiders, one of our football segments, our pre-post game show for the Miami Dolphins, 786-754-4664. That's our business line. So if your business wants to reach new customers, great for branding, great to grow your business, 786-754-4664. That's 786-754-4664. All right, Big O, what is your go-to movie theater snack and food? Well, I'm not going to have one today, but it would be a Coke normally. Now that I'm not drinking Coke, I probably will have a little water, so I won't have any go-to drink. It's usually a Coke. And then Whoppers. I love Whoppers. Snickers. Not a popcorn guy. What's the other candy that I like that sometimes I'm in the mood for? Whoppers, Snickers. I think there's one more I'm forgetting. For sure, Whoppers or Snickers. Okay. There you go. So that I could tell. Why is there one that I think I keep forgetting? I keep. No, I'm just going to go with Whoppers and Snickers right now. That's it. That's for sure. That's my go-to. But I won't have any of those today either. I don't plan on eating anything, or maybe you know what? I probably will drink water in my car and leave the bottle there and then go into the theater and then come right back out, and that's it. Kit Kat. That's it, Cap for Life. Thank you. Kit Kat is my other one. Thank you. You end up with a long-ass Kit Kat. I don't end up eating all of them. Are you crazy? Probably eat one row, and then if the wife wants, she might eat another row, but usually we have some left over if you end up getting the big one. Definitely. And then the theater that I normally go to, because it's, convenient, it's close to my house, is I don't know what it's called, but it's right off of 117th and Kendall Drive, right on the west side, right by Duffy's, right next to Duffy's. Is it a Regal? I don't know what theater it is, but that one right there with the diner, with Duffy's kind of sandwiching it. And across from, what is it, Chuck E. Cheese or something? You see how fat people just think of places where there's food? I told you the diner when you drive right in, Duffy's is on the other side. It's in a circle, and Chuck E. Cheese is across. It's fat people. We just use landmarks. Food is our landmarks. So it's kind of the way we communicate with people and give you directions. Hey, look, you go down about a mile, you'll see the Kentucky Fried Chicken. Hang a ride on the KFC. You go down 2 blocks, you'll see the Hardee's. Turn in. It's right in that mall where the Hardee's is at, and it's right on the corner next to the Carvel. Anyway. Blazer fans are off the meds if they think the Heat are going to swap Butler for Dame. Jimmy would. Oh no, no, that's just stupid. That's not happening. None of that is happening. They're not getting Butler. They're not getting Bam. They're not getting probably Caleb. They don't want salaries. You're going to have to trade Tyler and get a pick or two for Tyler. Send it over. And then I don't know if you're going to have to trade Caleb or somebody else along with the picks you have, and then you'll send a shit ton of picks over, and that's it. RPX. Actually, I'm not doing the IMAX or any of the really fancy ones today for Mission Impossible. Okay. Oh, when are you going to hit the gym and pump the iron? Use the secret of steel. Tulsa Doom. Conan the Barbarian. You know when I'll hit the iron? When I get a trainer to volunteer to help me work out a few times a week. That's when I can do it. When I get a professional that guides me through everything. That's when I'll do it. All right, we thank Cameron Wolf. We thank Manny Navarro. We thank Marcel Louis Jacques. We thank all of you out there for tuning in, as always. Sean Stanley, the man, the myth, the legend that masters this entire platform, as always. We thank him. We will see you tomorrow morning. By the way, Thursday, we normally are on at 3 o'clock. We will be on around 2 o'clock instead. We'll be on earlier on Thursday, and we'll be off earlier on Thursday because I have got to take off and get to West Palm Beach and get to the concert in time so I can see Howard Jones, Berlin, and Culture Club with the wife. So we are starting our show on Thursday around 2 o'clock. Who knows? Maybe 1:30, 1:45. Who knows? I might be on a couple minutes before that. Who knows? But we will be on earlier on Thursday just to give you a heads up. We'll be back tomorrow, 10 a.m., same time, same place, same bat channel.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.